So where did FitSkills come from? It started off in 2010 with physio honours student Jess May. As her thesis, she looked at the facilitators and barriers to physical activity for adults with Down syndrome. The basis of this was the body of evidence showing that adults with Down syndrome are typically sedentary and many do not perform adequate regular physical activity. In her research, she found 3 themes of facilitation for physical activity. First was support from others. Second was that the physical activity was fun or had an interesting purpose. And thirdly was routine or familiarity. She also found 3 themes around barriers to physical activity. First was lack of support. Second was not wanting to do physical activity. And thirdly were medical and physiological factors. In extension of this idea, a small pilot study was completed in 2010 by Professors Nora Shields and Nick Taylor. This looked at the effect of progressive resistance training on muscle strength and physical function in adolescents with Down syndrome. The training sessions were led by physiotherapy students and consisted of 2 sessions a week for 10 weeks. There were several primary findings for this study. Firstly, attendance rate in the exercise group was 90%, which in terms of adherence to treatment is quite significant. Next, there was a significant difference in the exercise group compared to the control group for lower limb strength. However, there were no improvements in upper limb strength or physical function. And lastly, no major adverse effects were recorded. So though this was only in its infant stages, this evidence was really important. It proved that a student-led exercise program had a great adherence rate, making it relevant and practical, and no adverse effects were found, making it a safe environment for adolescents with Down syndrome. Following this study, Nora and Nick were able to expand to a larger RCT in 2013, looking at the same intervention but in bigger numbers with more outcome measures, including work task performance, physical activity levels, and muscle strength as well. The exercise group in this case was also compared to a twice-weekly social program group. The results in the 2010 study were supported in this study, particularly in safety and feasibility. Adherence to intervention was 92%, and again, there were no major adverse effects. There were improvements in strength and physical activity levels in the exercise group over the social group, but more importantly, these improvements were maintained at 6 months, compared to a loss in strength and physical activity levels in the social group. It also solidified the theory that a student-led program in a community gym was both practical and feasible, and easily translated from a research environment into the real world. Now the researchers at FitSkills are currently looking at that last statement, implementing a much larger study consisting of 150 participants. Primarily, this study is looking at the feasibility of translating the concept into practice. The concept works well in a research-based environment, but to really see change, it must be effective in real life. So now our question is a gym program for young people with intellectual disability run by physiotherapy students feasible in practice? Let's find out.